America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, finds itself at a crossroads. A nation built on the ideals of liberty and justice now faces a pivotal moment in its history. The upcoming presidential election pits Vice President Kamala Harris against former President Donald Trump in a contest that will determine the very soul of our nation. This isn't just another election. It's a battle for the heart and future of America. The political climate is more fractured than ever, with both sides deeply entrenched in their beliefs. The divide is palpable, not just in the halls of power, but in our communities, our workplaces, and even our homes. This election isn't just about who occupies the White House. It's about the values we hold dear, the freedoms we cherish, and the future we want for our children and grandchildren. It's about the kind of country we want to leave behind for the next generation. The rhetoric on both sides has been heated, to say the least. Words have power, and the words being used in this election have the power to unite or divide us further. We've witnessed a level of animosity and distrust that threatens to tear us apart. Friends and family members find themselves at odds, unable to see eye to eye on fundamental issues. This isn't about policy disagreements anymore. It's about fundamental differences in how we view the world, the role of government, and the very meaning of America. It's a clash of ideologies that goes beyond the ballot box. This deep divide, fueled by anger, fear, and misinformation, creates a breeding ground for potential unrest. As we approach this critical juncture, the question remains, can we find a way to bridge the gap and come together as one nation, or will we continue to drift further apart? The upcoming election is arguably the most consequential in our lifetime. The very foundations of our republic are at stake. On one side, we have those who believe in limited government, individual liberty, and the principles enshrined in our Constitution. On the other, we see a push for bigger government, more control, and a fundamental transformation of our nation into something unrecognizable. This isn't hyperbole, it's the reality we face. The outcome of this election will determine the course of our nation for generations to come. Will we remain a beacon of freedom and opportunity? Or will we succumb to the siren song of socialism and tyranny? The choice is ours, but we must be prepared for the consequences, whatever they may be. Adding fuel to the fire is the very real possibility of a contested election. This isn't just a hypothetical scenario, it's a looming reality that could have far-reaching consequences. We've seen it before, and with the current political climate, it's not just possible, it's probable. The stakes are higher than ever, and the divisions run deep. The way some states count ballots, particularly mail-in ballots, is ripe for confusion and accusations of fraud. The process is complex, and any delays or discrepancies can easily be exploited. This uncertainty, coupled with the already heightened tensions, is a recipe for chaos. People are on edge, and the slightest provocation could set off a chain reaction. Imagine this. Election night arrives, and the results are too close to call. The nation holds its breath, waiting for clarity that doesn't come. Both sides declare victory, pointing to irregularities and fraud. Each camp digs in, unwilling to concede, and the battle moves from the ballot box to the courtroom. The media, as always, fans the flames, pushing their own narratives and further dividing the nation. Every channel has its own spin, and the public is left more confused than ever. Days turn into weeks, and still, there's no clear winner. The uncertainty drags on, eroding trust in the electoral process and in each other. People grow impatient, frustrated, and angry. The tension is palpable, and the sense of injustice fuels the fire. Protests erupt, and the potential for violence becomes very real. The streets become battlegrounds, and the fabric of society is tested. This is not a scenario we can afford to ignore. The stakes are too high, and the consequences too dire. We must be vigilant, prepared, and committed to finding a peaceful resolution. Let's be clear. Regardless of who wins the election, there will be protests. Both sides have made it clear that they are willing to take to the streets to make their voices heard. With Democrats like Jamie Raskin stating that if Trump wins the election, Democrats will refuse to certify the election even if it causes a civil war, chaos is no longer a distant threat. While peaceful protest is a cornerstone of our democracy, we must be prepared for the very real possibility that these protests could turn violent. We've already witnessed the chaos and destruction that can erupt when passions run high. Businesses looted, buildings burned, innocent people caught in the crossfire. This isn't about left or right, it's about right and wrong. Violence and destruction are never the answer, but we must be prepared to protect ourselves, our families, and our property if the worst should happen. Section 5. Protecting your castle home security measures. So, what can you do to prepare for potential civil unrest? The first step is to secure your home. Think of your home as your castle, your last line of defense. You need to fortify it and make it as difficult as possible for anyone with ill intentions to breach its walls. Start by assessing your home's vulnerabilities. Are there weak points in your doors or windows? Do you have adequate lighting around your property? Investing in a home security system, even a basic one, can be a wise decision. Consider installing security cameras, motion detectors, and an alarm system. And don't forget about the simple things like reinforcing your doors and windows and trimming shrubs that could provide cover for intruders. Section 6. Safeguarding your livelihood, business preparedness. If you own a business, you have even more at stake. Your business is not just a source of income, it's your livelihood, your employees' livelihood, and a vital part of your community. You need to take steps to protect it from potential unrest and looting. Start by creating a plan. What will you do if there are protests or riots in your area? How will you secure your business? How will you communicate with your employees? Consider investing in security measures like shutters, reinforced doors, and an alarm system. Have a plan for removing valuable inventory and equipment. And most importantly, make sure you have adequate insurance coverage in case the worst should happen. Section 7. The importance of community strength in numbers. Remember, you're not alone in this. One of the greatest strengths we have as Americans is our sense of community. Reach out to your neighbors, your friends, your family, and your community leaders. Talk about your concerns, share information, and work together to prepare for any potential unrest. Consider forming a neighborhood watch group or joining an existing one. There is strength in numbers. By working together, looking out for one another, and presenting a united front, we can deter crime and protect our communities. Remember, a strong community is a safe community. Section 8. The Second Amendment, your ultimate insurance policy. In these uncertain times, we must never forget the wisdom of our founding fathers. They enshrined the right to bear arms in the Second Amendment for a reason. They understood that the right to self-defense is not just an individual right, it's the bedrock upon which all other freedoms rest. The Second Amendment is not about hunting or sport shooting. It's about the ultimate form of self-reliance. It's about the ability to protect yourself, your family, and your property when all else fails. If you're not already a gun owner, now is the time to seriously consider exercising your Second Amendment rights. Get educated, get trained, and be prepared to defend yourself and your loved ones if the need arises. Section 9. Be prepared, not scared. The essence of a true patriot. The days ahead may be uncertain, but we must face them with courage, resolve, and unwavering faith in the American spirit. This spirit is what has carried us through the toughest of times, and it will continue to guide us forward. We must be prepared for any eventuality, but we must not live in fear. Preparation is a form of empowerment, a way to ensure that we can handle whatever comes our way. Fear paralyzes us, it divides us, it prevents us from taking action. When we succumb to fear, we lose sight of our goals and our ability to protect what matters most. Being prepared is not about being paranoid, it's about being responsible. It's about taking proactive steps to safeguard our future and the future of those we care about. It's about taking ownership of your safety, your family's safety, and the safety of your community. This sense of responsibility fosters a stronger, more resilient society. It's about being self-reliant and not relying on the government to always be there to bail you out. Self-reliance builds confidence and ensures that we are not helpless in times of crisis. This is the essence of a true patriot. To be prepared to defend the freedoms we hold dear, to stand ready to protect our way of life, to protect our loved ones, and to stand strong in the face of adversity. A true patriot is always vigilant, always ready, and always committed to the greater good of their nation and community. Keep your head down and your powder dry.